Welcome, fellow doggers, friends, and fans, to another edition of Off the Hook here on BigDawg Music Radio. Produced and directed by Lisa Day. Each week we like to get together and spin some fabulous tunes by the very talented artists at BigDawgMusicMafia.com and get to know one of our fantastic culture warriors who will be joining us in about 15 minutes. If you'd like to be a part of tonight's show, you can call us at 347-838-8898, or you can hit the little Skype button at the top of our player at our Blog Talk radio station, BigDawg Music Radio. So we hope that you're at home, relaxed, with your boots kicked off, sitting in your favorite chair, with your favorite person, and your favorite beverage, and we hope that you'll enjoy the show. I'm your host, Lisa May. Welcome to another live edition of Off the Hook. And let me go ahead and get our camera turned on here. And Merry Christmas to everybody. This is our last show before Christmas, which is on Wednesday. So hopefully you have all completed your Christmas shopping. I know there are a few of you out there that like to wait until Christmas Eve and to go out and get all those last minute deals. Which could be a smart thing to do, but then again, maybe not so much. I know I wouldn't want to be out on the road and fighting with people for those last-minute bargains. So, anyways, tonight we are going to be joined by Michaelantonio. He is a singer-songwriter and actor, as well as a Las Vegas entertainer. We're looking forward to having him call into the show in about 15 minutes and share some of his fabulous music and tell us about all the interesting things there are to do as a musician living in Las Vegas. After the show is another story. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and do like we always do at the beginning of our show and kick it off with a song. So there was a song that I just saw that Joe Merrick recently released within the past week. And he took Silent Night and Let It Be and mashed it up and turned it into a fabulous mashup, if you will, a Christmas mashup. So this is Joe Merrick with Let It Be, Silent Night, the mashup, the Christmas mashup.
Silent night, holy night. Calm, all is bright around young virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly breeze, sleep in heavenly peace. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, quake at the sight. Glory streams from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts singing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Oh, Christ the Savior is born. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer. Let it be. And though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. 'Cause there will be an answer. Yeah, let it be. So let it be. Let it be. Oh, let it be. Yeah, let it be. 'Cause there will be an answer. Let it be. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, oh, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace, yeah. Oh, sleep in heavenly peace. And when the night's cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow. Let it be. Because I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Oh, let it be. So let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. Yes, let it be. Let it be. Oh, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be.
And that was Joe with the mashup of Silent Night. And apparently we are having more different technical issues tonight. It seems like every time we fix one thing, something else pops up differently and doesn't cooperate. We will make sure that we get the show put together for you, and you can always check out the show at BigDawg Music Mafia on YouTube. So, we are always happy to see all of you guys and gals in the chat room, and forward to chatting with Michaelantonio in just a few minutes. So I hope that my when I talk that it's not also skipping. Maybe it's just the music. I'm not sure. Of course, the music is the most important part, not my yakking. Anyways, real quick, we have our birthday roundup. Happy birthday today to Amber Albert John Carver, Marshall Jenkins Jr., Michael L. Bluford, William the Kid, and then, of course, tomorrow we have a few more. Bailey, Jason P. Deeb, and Mary Lamb. So we hope that you all are enjoying your birthdays. Apparently your parents were trying to get birthday babies because it's awful close to Christmas. So Merry Christmas and happy to you all. Don't have a whole lot of news items to share. You know, this is Christmas season. Everybody's busy together with families, and a lot of the artists are out there performing at Christmas parties and gigs. So do want to let you all know that tomorrow morning we will have our regular show, Salt and Light from the Right, at 8 a.m. Eastern, hosted by me. 30 minutes where we play some inspirational music. Of course, we will focus on Christmas music tomorrow morning, as well as today during our Afterburner at 11 p.m. So we do hope that you all can stick around and enjoy some of the fabulous Christmas music by the artists at BigDawgMusicMafia.com. And then tomorrow is actually the 1-year anniversary of when we first aired the Today in News Sunday Morning Funhouse Show with Trey Martin and Jimmy J. So that's at 9:30 Eastern. Hope that you can tune in for that show tomorrow. Of course, we have Tuesday, midnight Wednesday on the East Coast at Dark 100. Trey Martin's more serious news show, his take on all the hot topics, and I can imagine Duck Dynasty will be among the topics being discussed. I just read today that Cracker Barrel apparently decided to pull all of the Duck Dynasty merch, most of it off, and they marked down pretty much the rest of the things and clearance to get rid of some merchandise. And that's a shame, because I used to like eating at Cracker Barrel, but I will be writing that restaurant off my list. So let's see. We do want to give a shout out, as always, to our friends over at FTR Radio, as well as Traditional American Movement, some of the members of whom are in our chat room as we speak. And we always enjoy having you all here with us, as well as our friend Bill Holland, Free Zone Media Center. He has a site that is basically an aggregate of all the hot topics from around the internet, and links to various radio stations, right-leaning folks like us, and also hat tip to Rightstream Radio Network and Build.net Network, as well as our friends at Liberachic.com. And because it is Christmas, I was reflecting back on some of how I used to celebrate Christmas growing up overseas, being that my dad was a government employee. We did travel quite a bit. I do every Christmas Eve, we'd have to get dressed up, and it was a special treat because we got to stay up later than normal. To go to midnight mass. So we always, we went to midnight mass, but before that we always took pictures by the Christmas tree. And then when we came back, we'd get changed into our pajamas, and we were all allowed to open just one present. But first we'd all get our hot chocolate and some snacks and cookies and things like that. We'd get to pick one present from under the tree. And then, I forgot, we also always watched the original version of Christmas Carol with Scrooge. That was always a special treat for us. So I don't know. I this time of year I like to think back on things that I used to do with my family growing up as a kid, and now's the time for those of us with our own to make memories with them that they will always remember. I'm not sure what the deal is here, but we're going to go ahead and welcome Mr. Michaelantonio. He was born in Syracuse, New York, and developed his musical and singing skills since early childhood. And he's taken these talents and merged them with his passionate life experiences, creating unforgettable songs. Welcome to our show, Off the Hook on Big Dawg Music Radio, Mr. Michaelantonio. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, and welcome to everyone out there.
All right. Can you hear us okay here on this end? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us okay, Michael?
I think my connection is a little bit bad here.
Okay, can you hear me? So why don't I go ahead and play a promo while we're waiting for Michael to call back in. since we did miss our 15-minute promo. We're going to play a little bit longer one to give him some time. This is one by Mr. Tom Balistrieri, and it's called The Old Conservative.
Say there, friend. You say you lost your job because the president's economic stimulus program forced your company to relocate to Sweden. And to get rent money, your wife sold all your clothes at a garage sale. And you have a job interview 60 miles out of town, and all you have to wear is a pair of farmer's overalls and a straw hat. Is that what's on your mind, pal?
Well, square your shoulders back and find an internet connection and log on to BigDawgMusicMafia.com and enjoy music and more from like-minded conservative citizens that will lift your spirits and make you realize you're not alone and give you hope and courage to face the future.
Say there, chum. You say you had to take out a loan today from a guy named Vinny to get money to put gas in your car, and you found out there's an illegal alien family living in the back seat, and you can't kick them out because it would violate their rights. So you take them along for the ride, and it's 110 in the shade, and the air conditioner don't work. So you turn on the vent fan, and boiling hot radiator fluid sprays out on you and your passengers, and now there's a woman screaming behind you in a foreign language, and you can't see because of hot steam, and your eyes are burning, and your car is swerving in the oncoming traffic. Is that what's on your mind, buddy?
Well, square your shoulders back and find an internet connection and log on to BigDawgMusicMafia.com, the place where conservative artists and writers gather to share their talents and make you feel good to be an American and lift your spirits and make you realize you're not alone and give you hope and courage to face the future.
Say there, buckaroo. You say you wake up in a strange room full of antique medical equipment and there's a nurse explaining to you that your medical insurance won't cover you. And over in the corner, you see two surgeons engaged in a fist fight. And you're lying naked on the gurney in a public hallway, and strangers are staring at you, and the gurney is being bumped by people passing by. And the wheel locks don't work, so you start rolling down the hallway, and you're picking up speed, and you're heading for an open door. And you burst out into the open street, and you're blinded by a flash of lightning, and cold rain is pouring down on your naked body, and the gurney hits the curb, and it sends you flying through some bushes, and you come to rest on something hard, and you hear the sound of an approaching train. Is that what's on your mind, Poopsie?
Well, square your shoulders back and find an internet connection and log on to BigDawgMusicMafia.com and enjoy music and more from like-minded conservative citizens that will lift your spirits and make you realize you're not alone and give you hope and courage to face the future.
Well, this is the old conservative signing off. Remember, BigDawgMusicMafia.com. So long, folks.
Okay, Michaelantonio, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Wow, I don't know what the problem was. You know, Skype and sometimes Blog Talk Radio has some serious issues. So,
Okay.
So sorry for the problems that we've been having, but we're excited that we got you back. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this number that I see on the panel, just in case we do lose you. And then I can try to call you back via Skype. So while we got you here, we've got some songs of yours to play, and I have to let everybody know that the very first song of yours that I heard was "Time for You to Go," which I absolutely love. Tell us when you wrote that and where and when you performed that song.
Well, actually, I have two different versions of that song.
Oh.
Are you referring to the Tea Party version or the original version that I had written?
Well, the one that has the video on YouTube, do you have video for both of them?
I actually do.
Oh,
yes.
no. Well, goodness. They're both, well, the one that I'm sure they're both fantastic. So why don't you just tell us about both of them then?
Okay. I wrote the first one many years ago, actually about 15 years ago. And it was was a time in my life when I had just gone through a divorce, and it just came to me, which most songs do. Most artists realize that they don't really set down to write songs most of the time. It just kind of happens, you know. The first time I actually performed the song in public was for a contest.
Uh-huh.
Many years ago, there was a contest called Fast Track to Fame. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before.
No.
And can you hear me?
Yeah, you dropped out just for a little. I'm not sure what the deal is. You dropped out just for a little bit. I can hear you now.
No, I'm sorry.
Are you on speakerphone?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right. So, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I have full bars on my connecting, but.
I think that the song that I'm referring to is the Tea Party version, because it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the video, and I'm pretty sure that it's all about this administration and what they're doing to this country and everything. So
yes.
So I think I've uploaded. I think that's the one that we have. I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, okay.
So
I have the song produced by a gentleman by the name of Vlado Kolinek, and I called him up one day to see how he was doing. A couple of years after he had actually produced the song with me, and it was kind of funny because I had this feeling that I wanted to do something like a video involving the song, and I wanted to make changes because of what was going on in the country. And I thought, this song would be perfect for what we're trying to do here.
Right.
So he kind of said it to me before I even said it to him. He's like, you know what, I want to do a video. So it was like it was meant to be. We went out there, we went to a Tea Party rally in Las Vegas, and we made this video.
Excellent.
And it was, it was very fun. All the people there were enjoying themselves, and they liked the idea. Mm-hmm. And so we just did it, and I got a lot of reaction. A lot of it positive, and of course a lot negative from the other side.
Oh, of course.
But that's what you have to do sometimes,
Exactly. And if you're not taking, what do they say? If you're not taking fire, you're not over the target. So.
That's right. That's right.
So that's excellent. Now, did I read that you were that you served in the military?
Yes, I was in the Navy Reserves for 8 years.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for your service. And what did you do while you were in the Navy?
No. Well, for the most part, I was in a couple of different capacities. I was in a corpsman unit for a few years.
Oh, wow.
And I also was on board ship for a couple of stints there.
Uh-huh.
I was on the USS Philippine Sea and also the USS Canopus.
Oh, wow. All right. So, you know what? Why don't you... we're going to go ahead and play Time for You to Go, and then when we come back, we'll talk about some of your other original music, as well as some of the things that you've done as an actor and Las Vegas entertainer. I'm anxious to hear about that. My parents actually live in Las Vegas, so it's always fun to visit them. I absolutely love that. Going to Vegas and hitting all the casinos and, the nightlife and the big fancy hotels. So we will be right back after we play your song, Time for You to Go.
The greatest evil is conceived and ordered, moved, seconded, carried in clear, carpeted, warmed, and well-lighted offices by quiet men with white collars, cut fingernails, and smooth-shaven cheeks.
It's never been clearer. My face never longer. This thing we got only gonna get stronger. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And it's time for a change. Gotta get out of range. Get your ride from this town. I don't you around. 'Cause I am so over you. You find something new. There's no other way to let you know. It's time for you to go. Time for you to go. Oh, yeah, yeah. Time for
cheating and stealing.
Mr. President, I'm going to change that.
And close backdoor dealing.
I'll make our government open and transparent.
That's over now, and there's no more repeating. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, it's time for a change. Gotta get out of range. Did you ride from this town? I don't want you around. 'Cause I am so over you. You find something new. There's no other way to let you know it's time for you to go. Oh yeah, yeah, time for you to go. Wasting all our money till it's through, and we ain't giving any more to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. Government is the problem.
Time for you to go.
I don't know what's going on.
Time for you to go.
I don't really know what to do.
It's time for you to go. Oh yeah, yeah, time for you to go. Time for you to go.
And that was Time for You to Go by Michaelantonio. Love that song. Are you still with us?
Thank you.
All right. Hey, you've got a really great voice. Have you ever done radio work?
Well, actually, I've been on the radio a few times, but nothing extended, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got that good deep voice that you hear a lot of radio DJs and stuff like that. In addition to, of course, your singing voice, which we're gonna show off even more so when we get to one of your theatrical numbers that I stumbled upon earlier today. So give us a little background about Michaelantonio. Where did the passion for music come from? Who were some of your influences, that kind of thing?
Well, I can tell you that I started out singing at a young age. I was about 2 years old. And beyond that, I started in church, where I'm sure many singers start. Mm-hmm. And I had some very, very good singers who were leaders of the music ministry who taught me how to sing. And so I got a lot of influence there at a very young age.
Excellent.
And then, of course, as I grew older, I grew up listening to people like Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, mm-hmm. Even though it was kind of, I grew up maybe 20 years after he started, but still the influence was there, in the 70s.
Right.
And so that's some of the, and of course all of the singers of that era mm-hmm. were influential. It's hard for me to put my finger on one particular artist that
right.
Sent me on my way with the passion.
Right. Now, did you do a lot of music in school, like in grade school, middle school, high school, like in school bands and things like that?
I did. When I was in elementary school, I actually did drums. I did some drumming. I learned. I didn't even. What's really ironic is I didn't do any chorus in high school or in any of my education early on. I sang in church and at home. I learned how to play the guitar at home and in church also. And so I pretty much. I did a little harmonica too as a young child.
Oh, cool. Self-taught?
It was out of. I don't know why I didn't do a lot of school stuff, but I just didn't get involved as much in school.
So when did you start writing your own material, and tell us about some of the venues that you've performed at in Las Vegas?
Well, I early on, I was influenced to sing and to write, believe it or not, by my parents. Uh-huh. My father particularly. We used to do some fun things while driving in the car. My father had this old Volvo, that had a microphone built into the radio. And he would have us talk and sing while we were driving.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would actually have us, like, he would come up with a song title, and then he would tell us to just, make up the words.
Oh, wow.
So he would say, here's Michael singing whatever, I found a truck wheel or something, and we'd start singing our own songs, just fooling around with it.
That's
and
cool.
That's the kind of thing we did. My father was like that. He was very, interesting that way,
Right. Well, that's a very neat way to get the kids to get their creative juices going there. That's awesome.
Yep, that's right.
You've given me an
correct.
idea what to do with my son.
So, so later, as I got older, I got more serious about it. I started doing a little bit of writing when I was maybe late teens, early 20s. I did a few things, but really, I didn't really start getting into it deeply until maybe, I'd say I was at least 25 years old. I don't know why. Just sometimes people tend to be late bloomers in that area, I guess, So I really, I don't know, I guess the older you get, the more serious you get about everything, so
That's for sure.
I just decided, one day, I never sat down to write anything specific. You just kind of sit down with your guitar and your whatever instrument it is you play, and even if it's just your voice, you might just be thinking about something, and all of a sudden it hits you, And so that's how it happens. And usually most songs that I have written have been probably written within less than an hour. You just kind of sit down and it just happens,
Right. Yeah,
and then
that's awesome. So why don't you tell us then about Come Home, and we'll go ahead and play that one. Tell us the inspiration behind that one.
Well, the inspiration about that one is, it's kind of tough for me to talk about, but I will anyway.
Okay.
I write a lot of songs about, obviously, romance and that type of thing, but I just, it's been hard for me to come by, when it comes to romance. I've always been let me just say, not a winner in that area, So I tend to write about what I want, what I desire, not always what is.
Right.
So at that time, it was another situation where I just I felt lost in my life, and I was just trying to get back what I had lost, It's as simple as that, I guess. I don't know any other way to say that.
Well, that's honestly, that's when I find that I write my best songs, is when my heart's broken, or I'm in pain about something, a loss of a dear friend, or a loved, a breakup situation, or anything. It seems like that's when when you're going through all that angst, is when all the emotions are flooding in, and as a musician, a songwriter, that's when you seem to be the most creative. I find that when things are going swimmingly and life is, a bowl of cherries, it's harder to write the happy songs, which is kind of odd. I don't know if it
is, but it's true.
Yeah, it's very.
You're absolutely right. And we tend to write about stuff that we don't have as if it is good. Also, we tend to say, okay, I'm not feeling this right now. I'm not getting this, but I'm going to write about this. It's a positive affirmation, possibly. And we also write about loss as well. But it just seems to be that when we're at our lowest, we can write both the positive and the negative.
Right, right. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and play your song, Come Home.
I didn't think that you loved me. I didn't think that you cared. I didn't know what you meant to me, baby, until you left me right there. Now you're gone, no, and I can't go on, no, no. It's all wrong to tell I get you to miss me? When will I not be alone? Why do you have to go so far? And what will it take for you to come home? Oh, come home, Lord. You didn't say you were leaving, and I found a note on your bed. I couldn't think of tomorrow without you, 'cause I just went out of my head. Now you're gone, no, and I can't go on, no, no. It's all wrong to tell me so long. How can I get you to miss me? When will I not be alone? Why do you have to go so far? What will it take for you to come home? Oh, come home, Lord. Feels so cold and empty since you went away, yeah. So come and warm my night times and fill up my days. Well, I couldn't look at your picture, I'd rather stare at the wall. If I can't have you beside me, baby, well, I don't want nothing at all. Now you're gone, no, and I can't go on, no, no. It's all wrong, to tell me so long, so long. How can I get you to miss me? When will I not be alone? Why do you have to go so far? What will it take for you? What will it take for you? What will it take for you to come home? Oh, I'm so alone, oh, so come home, oh.
And that was Come Home by Michaelantonio. That definitely you can hear the pain and the passion in that song. It's a beautiful song, Michaelantonio. Now, do people call you Michael or do they say Michaelantonio?
Well, I mean, professionally, it's Michaelantonio, but my family calls me Mike. My friends call me Mike. Mike?
Okay. All right. Well, we'd like to think that we're your friends here at BigDawg Music Mafia and BigDawg Music
Certainly.
Radio. So, anyways, why don't you tell us? I'm fascinated to hear a little bit about the fact that you are related to Dean Martin. How did you find out about that?
Well, it's kind of a family legend, even though there's no real evidence, on paper. But many years ago, my grandfather had told me that I believe it was his mother who was related to Dean Martin's mother back in the old country in Italy.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
But I never actually had any contact with Dean Martin at all at any time.
Right.
And I don't think my family members, in the last 50 to 60 years had any contact with him either. But I guess it's a legend.
Well, it's a cool story. Now, I'm also fascinated to hear about you got to work as an actor on the movie Rocky Balboa, as well as...
Yes, it was a small part. I mean, I'm not, if you you would have to probably freeze frame the actual movie to see it all. So, but it was a very small role in that type thing.
It's okay. It's it's more than I can say. I've never been in any movie. Now, what about in Now You See Me with Woody Harrelson and Morgan Freeman?
Yes, that was another one. I was contracted with an agent who cast people, and they would call you in whenever they needed people. So I went in and did a role there. I did a couple of scenes, and again, I was on the cutting room floor there actually too, but I did a scene in a casino and one outside of a casino on Fremont Street.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's a cool place.
Which is, oh, it is. It's downtown. The big canopy that's over the main street here.
And the canopy, they do the light shows where you can look up at
yes.
certain periods. They do the cool light shows. Yeah, that's amazing. I love Vegas. How long?
It's fun.
Yeah, how long have you been there?
Well, I was there for 7 years. I spent some time in New York over the last year and a half or so, and so I'd say little over 7 years.
Oh, okay. And I would imagine you are enjoying yourself. I read that you were also a gondolier.
At one time, I'm not a gondolier now, but yes, I was a gondolier at the Venetian Resort for a few years, and that was fun. That was a real blast. I got to meet all different kinds of people from around the world.
That is very cool.
Got to sing to them. I had a great time. I could tell you some stories, just very interesting things. I worked outside mainly, and if you've ever been, have you ever been to the Venetian?
Oh yes, it's beautiful.
On the outside, sometimes it can be very windy, and we actually control the boats. A lot of people thought they were on tracks, but actually we have complete control of the boats, at least most of the time, when the wind is not blowing too hard. But it can be treacherous at times.
Right.
And there was one particular instance when I was coming around and I was singing on the last turn to come in and dock, and a strong wind came up, and literally I lost complete control of the boat. There was just no way I could control it. So I had a decision to make. I could either panic or I could just wing it, say, you know what, I'm going to just do this. So I started singing, and I pretended it was part of the ride. We were spinning around out of control, and I was just singing, had my arms wide open, and just belted it up. And ironically enough, the boat literally parked itself right where it was supposed to park, on the dock.
That is too cool.
I mean, could you imagine that? I mean, just imagine I'm out of control.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, there's no way this is going to turn out well. It's not going to turn out. So I just said, God, this is it. Whatever, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to pretend this is what happens, and I'm going to have a good time. And sure enough, it landed right where it was supposed to, and my guests got off the boat, and I said thank you, and that was it. It was great.
That's awesome. Well, the fact that you mentioned God, so God took care of things for you.
Yeah, I feel like that actually now, right now. It seems like I'm sometimes in life we get in a position where we're like, you know what, God's in control. God is in control.
I am reminded of that all the time from some very dear friends. So, absolutely. Well, you know what? I'm looking at the time, and we're almost out of time, and so we have 2 more songs. We'll go ahead and play the other one in our next hour, Afterburner, which is our live listener request show. But I want to hear about what made you record Music of the Night.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I was always kind of a fan of the Phantom of the Opera, and I had seen the show at the Venetian when it was there, and I, of course, seen the movie, the 2004 movie, which starred Gerard Butler.
Right.
And I really like Andrew Lloyd Webber's music. He really has a way, to capture your imagination and your, everything. So I liked it, but I'd never done any kind of musical theater at all, really.
Uh-huh.
And I have a friend who lives in Australia. Her name's Deborah Gallo, and she asked me to sing a song from Phantom of the Opera. She said, why don't you go ahead and record that for me? I want to hear one. So I said, that'd be fun. So at the time I was in New York, and my friend Donna Lee in New York has a studio, Jazz Babe Studios, and I went in there and I said, I asked her to if she would want to record that, and I said, let's do this. So I sang the song not knowing what to expect. I really didn't know what was going to happen because I'd never done that before.
Wow.
And so it came out the way it came out. Deborah seemed to love it, so I was happy about that.
Well, when I listen to it, it happens to be one of my favorite songs. I don't go to a whole lot of musicals, and in fact, I've never actually been to Phantom of the Opera. But that at a song contest that I had entered, one of the contestants sang that song, and I fell in love with this song. Well, the guy's voice was phenomenal, but when I saw that on your list, and by the way, I apologize for not mentioning this to our radio listeners, but they can find your music on SoundCloud.com/Michaelantonio, as well as YouTube.com/Michaelantonio. And you also have your own website, Michaelantonio.wix.com/Michaelantonio Media. We do have a graphic up at our live stream video show with your photo and your website. So those who are watching, they have that information. Those who are listening to the podcast later or to the live show now, definitely check out Michaelantonio's music. He's got some fantastic covers, Angel Eyes being one of them, which we were going to play during this show, but we are running out of time. So we're going to go ahead and close with Music of the Night, and then during our next hour, we'll go ahead and play that one. But want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know we sort of had to go back and forth because you do have a very busy schedule, and we're just glad that we were able to find some time to get you on the show and talk to you. And it's been a real pleasure to talk to you for the first time. And we want to wish you much success in your music career. We look forward to having you share more of your music with us and upload them at our site at BigDawg Music Mafia. And want to wish you a blessed and Merry Christmas, Michael.
You too, Lisa. Thank you very much for having me on here. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and you're welcome back anytime. Anytime you got some new music you want to share, you just give us a holler, and we'll get you on the show.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. God bless. And we're going to go ahead and play Michaelantonio's song, Music of the Night.
I have brought you to the seat of sweet music's throne, to this kingdom where all must pay homage to music. Night time sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses. His splendor, grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold, unfeeling light, and listen to the music of the night. Close your eyes and surrender to your darkest dreams. Put your thoughts on the life you knew before. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar. And you live as you've never lived before.
closing in around you. Open up your mind, let your fantasies unwind in this darkness which you know you cannot fight. The darkness of the music of the night. Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be. Only then can you belong to me. Intoxication, touch me, trust me, savory sensation. Let the dream begin, let your darkest side give in to the power of the music that I write. The music of the music of the night.
And that's going to do it for tonight's edition of Off the Hook here on Big Dog Music Radio. We hope that you've enjoyed the show and look forward to having you join us again next Saturday night, same time, same station, where we'll be chatting with yet another fabulous culture warrior and spinning some more fantastic music by the very talented artists at BigDawgMusicMafia.com. If you don't have any plans, we'd love to have you stick around for our second hour Afterburner, our live listener request show, where you get to pick the songs that we play. Just give us a call at 347-838-8898, and if we have the song, we'll be happy to play it. So until next week, keep your chin up, keep the faith, and keep up the good fight. I'm your host, Lisa May. Good night, Breitbart, wherever you are.